We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today.
I'm
Bill
Griffin.
O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching.
We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Take it away.
It's the same shit that my nigga I got kicked out of Boston about. Coach Houston. Who's the staff member? Nobody knows. This is what I'm saying. Like media be fucked up. Nigga, they put a report out. And I'm not saying if he did something wrong and need to be arrested, let's put that out there. Then they did the right thing. But we don't have the proper information. We sit there and say, a sign stealing scandal. Okay, I don't even like that because Bill Belichick built championships off every gate you can imagine. Deflate gates, stealing gate. Listen, man, if you get an advantage and get the signs taken, it's really no proof of that. That nigga was on the sidelines. I remember that whole shit with the sign stealing shit. I can't even blame that on him. That's first and foremost. If it is him, okay, I apologize. I'm just telling you from the knowledge that I know. Maybe I'm not fully knowledgeable about what was his part in the sign stealing scandal.
Who do you think has more shame right now? Sherrone Moore or the girl now that everybody knows was the one that was the quote-unquote homewrecker, the one that got pregnant, the one that had an abortion, the one that still probably wants to have a professional life in the sports world? Obviously, we know he's probably going to be done for a little while. Who do you think could possibly feel worse?
Well, he's obviously going to be the one that takes all the fire. You know, she's gonna get hit with some shrapnel from it, but she is just as guilty as he is. I mean, let's be clear on this. I don't care about the power structure. You can say whatever. She was some sort of recruiting position. She knew what she was doing. This is a grown adult. She wasn't forced into anything with him. She made a choice to get with a married man, to have unprotected sex with a married man, to continue that affair with him. And yes, there's a little bit of a disposition and power there, but she deserves whatever she gets fallout from this. 100%.
New 911 audio reveals details about the chaotic moments leading to the arrest of Sherrone Moore, the former head coach of the University of Michigan football team.
According to the victim here, he did put a knife to his throat and ran out.
Dispatchers sent police to an apartment complex where the victim detailed an encounter with Moore, who was allegedly carrying a knife.
Where there's a male at the location and the house attacking her. State's been stalking her for months.
Tonight, Moore, a 39-year-old husband and father, will spend another night at the Washtenaw County Jail, 4 miles away from campus. Authorities tell CBS News no charge information will be released until Moore's arraignment Friday afternoon.
We're going to spend a lot of time figuring out what happened in that hour or two after Sherrone Moore was fired, before he was detained by police.
Moore was fired Wednesday with cause, according to the school's athletic director. They said Moore, quote, engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
Well, I was completely and totally shocked and bitterly disappointed. This shouldn't happen at the University of Michigan.
Broadcaster Jim Brandstatter was the voice of the Wolverines for 42 years.
I don't think he'll have much to do with football anymore because I think he's nuclear. And I think most fans and most Michigan people know that our reputation has taken a huge hit.
In 2024, the Wolverines won the national championship, but with success came scandal. The team paid tens of millions in fines and faced suspensions for allegedly spying on other teams and stealing signs. As for this recent firing and arrest, we reached out to Moore and his family and have not heard back.
Okay, Jerika, thank you.
You're a married man with 3 daughters, and you make $6 million per year, and you just threw that away for a side piece. If y'all haven't heard this story yet, this story is one for the books. Michigan's head coach, Sherrone Moore, got fired for having an affair with a staff member. This man just ruined his entire career that he worked for because he's been with Michigan for a few years now. And this story gets worse. After they fired him, he went home and got into an argument with his wife about the cheating allegations. It's alleged that after he argued with his wife, he left and went to his side piece house, and this man had a knife and not only threatened to kill her, threatened to kill himself as well. Bro, you just went from being on top of the world to having it all to being at rock bottom in less than 24 hours. They found out who the girl was he was having an affair with. They also released her information. And of course, people are saying that she's to blame as well. And while that may be true, at the end of the day, as a man, you are a married man. It's your responsibility to protect your family and not put yourself in that situation. So the blame starts with him.
The word on the street is the coach at Michigan got fired behind some cuckoo. Well, you know, that's what I saw a man who just posted like, man, we always get messed up behind some vagina. No, quit saying that. Let's really talk about what's going on, what it is, what it was, what it's going to be. Let's hit the truth, because that's the problem. No one wants to share the truth. It's not behind no vagina. It's behind the lack of wisdom, the lack of sexual discipline and self-discipline. Not only for men, women too. Don't think it ain't for you, boo, and I ain't going to talk about nothing I ain't never did or don't know nothing about. So really, this guy's career isn't messed up behind another woman. It's messed up off the choices he made. And no one wants to talk about how a lot of men, especially, well, I don't want to say black men, just men in general, because it's a male thing. We're taught that to be mischievous is the thing. Women too. Let me quit saying just men. We all was taught to be sexual, hypersexual with different people was what we would say grown and living our best life. And the reality is that sex was meant for two, and it's so much emotion behind real sex. Nobody seems to realize it is a soul connection tie that was meant for husband and wife. It was created for husband and wife, and that's the reason why it's so much baby mama drama. I got 3 baby daddies. I could talk about it. Married to 2, married to 1 now, and then had 1 out of wedlock. And that was like, it was because of my sexual mischievousness. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody want to keep it real about when you out here in the streets like that, in folks' sheets like that, the hell that comes behind it. Because someone falls in love, because that's what sex is meant for, 2 lovers, a covenant between husband and wife, emotions get intertwined, right? And when you break those, I mean, somebody always get the shorter end, no matter what nobody say. The kid that didn't ask for you all to lay down, the wife who got cheated on, the husband that got cheated on, the career that you messed up. And that's why another wise man once said, you ever want to do business with men especially, but I don't want to just make this about men, people in general. See how they treat their spouse. See how they're treating their loved ones. If they out here cheating on people who they love, they'll cheat you out their money. They'll cheat you out your money. They don't care. They have nothing to lose. They don't care nothing about nothing. And so when we really want to have those conversations, and because I have 4 kids, it's like I keep it real with them. Because if I don't teach them about sex and the pain and love that can come behind it, the streets will. And the streets going to tell them, go out there and be a hoe. Go out there and have sex till you can't have no more. Yeah, you can with the one that you love, your husband and your wife, the one who you have that covenant with. But nobody want to say or talk about it. That man that lost millions. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'll see y'all on the other side of your greatness.
I feel for the young brother, to be honest. I mean,
Really?
people don't hear that, but I feel bad for him because we all make mistakes. One thing I hate about when you become famous or somebody, every time you do something wrong, it's a million people got something to say. And out of the million people that's talking, they be the worst ones doing all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's wrong for what he did and et cetera, and I get all that, but he human like me. I remember when Mike Vick, we had Riley Cooper for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he said, I will whip every nigger's ass, right, at a concert.
Close quote.
And that's what he said, exactly what he said.
Quote? Yeah.
And I remember everybody was so mad at him. So many players that want to put their hands on him, especially the black players want to put their hands on him. Mike Vick, our captain, he got in front of the teams, the team meeting. He said, yo, our brother, what he said, he was wrong. Everybody, you should feel mad. You can feel mad. He said, but let me say one thing to y'all. He said, we all have did things behind closed doors or said things behind closed doors that we never thought was going to get out.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you haven't did that, then you can leave.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody sat there because we all have done things.
Mm-hmm. yesterday. And now we're learning a little bit about what allegedly happened. So we've got some dispatch audio here now. Somebody who was in the address where this Michigan staffer lives made a call to 911 saying that they were under duress and actually getting attacked. We have that dispatch audio. Now you're going to hear a 911 operator explaining the situation to police. And you can tell, again, it's really dire.
Yeah. Subject just called the caller, told her there's a male at the location and the house attacking her. The state's been stalking her for months. The subject is suicidal. Girlfriend's losing his job today.
Suicidal.
He walked out with a knife.
That is.
Yeah, so he walked out. So she obviously, under attack, and then says he walked out with a knife. And at that point, it really is. And at that point, the authorities, Lucas and Shannon, were trying desperately to find the coach because, one, he had allegedly just committed a crime, and also they feared he might be a danger to himself.
Wait, come to find out she did snitch on the Michigan head coach and got him fired. That's why he broke into her crib.
Denied any relationship, but that story changed yesterday morning when she went on the Hill, as we say, the administration office, with the receipts, the text messages, the emails, documents, and so on.
Basically, people been telling Michigan about their relationship and the pay increase, and Michigan ignored it because the guy claimed that him and the shawty wasn't messing with each other. That was until Wednesday morning when she went up there, snitched, showed him videos, messages, etc. They fired him that afternoon. He tried to go home to his wife. She said, "Get out of here." That's when he said, "Bet." He ran up in shawty crib, whipped out the blade, and said, "You know what? Let's go see God together." The police were able to track him down using GPS. He was at a church. But yeah, so Michigan, you and I slick. You been knew bro was doing this. Y'all just mad that he lost to Ohio. Side note, all the other allegations are true, but the DoorDash one may be fake because it seems like every news outlet is getting it from this Twitter post, and they're claiming that this Twitter page is not a real person or tends to spread false stuff. But multiple people have been telling Michigan that he was doing this, even people not from the school. Regardless, he crashed out when he could have got a new job. Now you about to be with boys.
Sherrone Moore, the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. He was the interim head coach for a whole lot of games, so he is also a national champion, and he'll wave to the crowd.
One thing we don't give men credit for enough is how to ruin their entire life in as little time as possible. Because how do you lose your $6 million a year paying job, your wife, and your freedom, all because of one situation that could have been avoided? The University of Michigan's head coach was fired for having an affair with a staff member. And guess what? That goes against their code of conduct, of course. So they fired him, and on top of that, they don't even have to pay him. And as you can see in this article, hours later, he was put in jail. Now, per this article, I read it, and it didn't have any updates as to why he was put in jail or, what the case is. Like, maybe there's some more updates ever since this article got released. But from what I read, they don't have any updates. And this is the part that kills me. It says he became the Wolverines head coach in 2024, taking over after spending 6 years on the offensive staff. He was the first black head coach in program history. And this is how you want to end it? Because of a staff member? I just don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him because, one, obviously you're a married man, but you're a married man with 3 daughters. And you are setting a horrible example on what a man is supposed to do in a relationship for them. Like, you're doing an awful job. But on top of that, it's in university policy that fraternizing with employees or doing anything like that is not tolerated. So you knew if somebody found out about this, you knew you was going to lose this high-paying ass job. $6 million a year, you knew you were going to lose this job if somebody found out. And somebody always finds out. Like, why do y'all think y'all are so sneaky? Y'all are not.
ESPN is failing in their coverage of Sherrone Moore. Here is University of Michigan alum Adam Schefter on ESPN.
With the staff, what we haven't heard yet is Sherrone Moore's side of this. And he gets his say into this particular situation as well. And I do know that he felt like people had it in for him for an awful long time there while he was at Michigan. He felt like there were people who were out to get him. So all these things can all be true. It's possible that, yes, Michigan does have evidence that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. And it could be that Sherrone Moore is right that people had it in for him. But the whole situation itself is just sad and tragic because now we have a individual who had his professional life, his personal life completely upended. We have a school with a bunch of players who don't have a coach to turn to right now. We have a school in search of a program, a new coach to lead forth that program. There are a whole host of things that have
All right. He is clearly at a crossroads of how to present the information with other forces at play. Because no man should say that. That is what I view as a walking conflicted man. And that should not have been broadcast. We now have police audio, dispatch audio, that he allegedly stalked this individual for some time. And he was arrested for alleged assault. Then you have someone like Taylor Lewan on ESPN, a former Michigan football player, giving his take on this. Why is he there? I understand you have this partnership with the Bussin' with the Boys crew, but this is via MichiganDaily.com. When reports of the essay first surfaced, 2 university football players reported to police that Brendan Gibbons' roommate, fellow football player Taylor Lewan, threatened to R-word the victim again if she pressed charges. Lewan admitted these threats to police, who later notified the university. No action was ever taken. Why are we elevating these voices? Why is ESPN giving them the biggest platform to do so? And now, instead of having respected journalists, respected reporters, you have someone like Adam Schefter who has fallen short so many times and clearly been a water carrier for agents and players time and time again, and Taylor Lewan, who I just told you about.
What's inappropriate relationship with a staff member? It wasn't a student, it was a staff member. They say inappropriate relationship with a staff member. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's inappropriate? They went to dinner when they shouldn't have went to dinner? Was it somebody's wife? Because if it's a staff...
No, pause.
Huh?
It's him. He's supposed to be married, Cam. He's married.
Yeah.
And right, he's married, and he's having a relationship with a staff member.
When you think of this situation, right, and you say, well, he had to have at least 2 people in him. Somebody knew about it because not only did he get fired, I mean, 2 people knew about it, and then he got arrested. So 3 people knew about it. He wasn't low about whatever he did.
I think they were saying he went to the house of the girl.
What you think, Mike?
Something was happening.
Alleged. That's why.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they were saying. Alleged.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. We're here at the Washington County Courthouse and Jail, where former University of Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore is still being detained. We do not anticipate that he will be arraigned in court today on Thursday, but there's a chance he's arraigned in court Friday, December 12th. Make sure to follow the Detroit Free Press and Freep.com for all the updates on this story.
Sherrone Moore is not the head coach of Michigan anymore. Sherrone Moore is currently detained in a jail, I believe, in Michigan, not because of the reason why he got fired, but because of what happened immediately after he got fired. Biff Pogge, who's a businessman, billionaire, extraordinaire, will be the interim head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. He was this earlier in the year when Sherrone was suspended for a couple games. They play Texas New Year's Eve in the Cheez-It Bowl. They're only 6.5-point favorites against a Michigan team whose starting quarterback has already taken Michigan all the way out of his entire social media status, and Michigan for the next 2 weeks is poachable for any coachable to go and get them.
Sometime midday, Sherrone Moore was dismissed from the University of Michigan with cause. They were very clear that this was because of an inappropriate relationship. Not long after that, police in Pittsfield, Michigan, Pittsfield Township, responded to investigate what they called in a press release an alleged assault. Not long after that, Michigan had a team meeting where the team was told of Sherrone Moore's dismissal. I think it was 4:43 p.m. was the official time of Michigan announcing this. Around 7:15 last night, the city of Saline, Michigan, announced that Moore had been detained and they were working in partnership with Pittsfield Township. Then it emerged through court documents last night that Sherrone Moore had been booked in Washtenaw County Jail. He's still in custody in Washtenaw County Jail. No announcement of a decision on charges is expected today.
All the situations that you've heard, you never think a situation like this can happen to you, even though you're doing what you've heard about. Nah, this is going to be different. She ain't like that. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to get out. Don't nobody know but her and I, blah, blah, blah. And I can imagine 6-7 months ago, I went through something very similar. So I know what that storm is like.
Yes, sir.
And unless you've been in it, that's why when people say, this is what I would do, you don't know what you would do until you in it. Until you in that pressure cooker, until you in the eye of the storm.
Yes, sir.
Until you in Ocho, you and I have had a conversation. So
yes,
I know. To be in that storm and
Crazy.
to know everybody know everything that you worked your entire life for. You feel it like it's crumbling right before your eyes.
You gone.
Yeah. And the only people that's gonna be there, it's gonna be a select few. It's gonna be a select few. That's the hardest part. I mean, everybody look. It's kind of it. Look, and I understand the situation, but if you're married and you engage in an inappropriate relationship, why would you do that? You married. And see, everybody always say, well, "Why would you do that? Why would you do that?" Well, if you thought you was gonna get caught, if you thought something was gonna go wrong, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
The same reason you speed. If you thought you was gonna get caught, you think you would speed? No. Unless you're a kleptomaniac, you're not gonna steal. You know, klepto just can't help it. But some people don't. You don't shoplift. You don't steal stuff, and you think you'll get caught. That's why a lot of people, most robberies happen at night. You got the veil of darkness because I don't want to get caught. I don't want to be seen. The same thing. Why you creep? Most times, when the creeping take place at night.
Right.
Boy, a college professor told me, say the night has 1,000 eyes. And on most nights it has 1,002 because somebody sees you.
Oh yeah, I'm writing that down, boy. That's a good one there, boy.
Damn.
Say the night has 1,000 eyes?
On most nights it has 1,002 because somebody sees you.
Well, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to use that in conversation.
And then the other reports that came out that he was arrested and things that, some things escalated.
Damn.
That old hoo-ha, boy.
Hey.
It's undefeated.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
think about Samson and Delilah, David and Bathsheba.
It made a fool of us all, though, at some point. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. One of the most powerful things, one of the most powerful things on earth.
Boy, that's a hell. There are some people I don't hate anybody. But there's a few people I really have a strong disliking for. I wouldn't wish what I went through on them. I wouldn't. Boy, it was tough. Boy, it was some days that all I had was not you, Ocho, and Joe. My family. That was it. Nobody else was there. All the phone calls, the people used to call and, hey, how you doing? What's up? Stopped. I think that was besides that, yeah, it was embarrassing. But I think that was the toughest part. Is that people that you thought would always be in your corner, all of a sudden they weren't there. And I just remember my brother calling me every day, like, man, tell me a joke. Maybe like, hey, I know you got some story. Tell me what Papa used to do in this situation. What would Papa say? What would Granny say? What would this? He was always trying to pick me up. He said, nah, bro. He called Shelly. How's he doing today, Shelly? He's like, he ain't doing good. He called. My sister called. Bucket called. I think the hardest thing was when Bucket called and he was crying. That was really the only time that I broke down because I'd never seen Bucket cry. I saw him cry one time when his brother got killed when we were in college. The only time I had seen Bucket cry. And when he cried and broke down, now I broke down. Man, I was like, bro, I said, homeboy, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I said, there are better days on the horizon. We just got to weather the storm. Just got to stand it. Sherrone, Lord, I can tell you, bro, you got to stand in it. You got to, I remember Mary Porter used to always tell us, and I didn't really understand because I had really never gone through anything. She said, boy, everybody, they're either entering the storm, they're in the storm, or they're coming out of the storm. There's only 3 phases. Everybody's doing something. You in it, you coming in it, you slap dab in the smack in the middle of it, or you leaving it. Damn.
Damn.
Own it. Just damn. Someday you're like, man, am I gonna wake up? Is this a dream? Am I gonna wake up? Nah, bro, it's real. And that's what Sherrone is thinking right now. I guarantee you. He's like, this is a dream. Is this real? This really happened? And just like that.
Blink of an eye.
Just like that. Everything that you worked a lifetime for. All these bricks that you what is that? Jenga? Where you hit the brick, you try to pull one out and don't topple down. And you know. Start stacking all back over again.
Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.